The sky above Earth was quiet, too quiet, but far beyond the stars, something was moving. Huge alien ships, black as night, cutting through space like blades. They were fast, they were powerful, and they were coming straight for Earth. No one knew exactly who they were. No one even saw them until it was too late. The first warning came from a space station near Jupiter. A single message. We see them. They are not friendly. May God help Earth. Then silence. That was the last anyone heard from the station. The United Nations called an emergency meeting. Leaders from every country shouted, argued, panicked. The alien message was short and cold. Surrender or be erased. They gave Earth 72 hours to respond. No reason, no negotiations, just a countdown. Every screen, every phone, every satellite on Y. Earth showed the same thing, a red clock ticking down from 72 Ka. People called it the death clock. In the streets, chaos spread. People fled cities. Stores were looted. Families locked themselves in their homes. Governments tried to stay calm, but fear was everywhere. Some thought it was fake. Others believed Earth deserved this. A few brave scientists tried to contact the ships. They got no answer. Military forces around the world prepared for war, but deep down they knew the truth. Earth was outmatched. The alien fleet was massive. Reports from telescopes showed at least 300 warships, each the size of a mountain. There was no way to stop them, not with Earth's technology, but not everyone gave up. In a frozen part of Antarctica, a secret facility went silent. It had no name. It didn't show up on maps. Only a few top officials even knew it existed. Inside that facility, a man named Director Harlan stood in front of a glowing console. He wasn't a politician. He wasn't a soldier. He was something else. "Activate Protocol 0, he said. A scientist beside him froze. "But sir, that program was shut down. It's unstable." Harlan didn't blink. "Do it. Earth has 68 hours left. We're out of time." Far underground, deep in the ice, machines that had been sleeping for decades came to life. Old computers. Strange devices. Weapons that didn't look human. A female voice echoed in the room, soft but cold. Protocol 0 online. Threat confirmed. Defense systems awakening. Lights turned red. Harlan whispered to himself, "They thought we were weak. They were wrong." Meanwhile, in orbit around Saturn, a group of human astronauts watched as the alien fleet passed them, like ghosts. Commander Lin, the leader of the crew, stared out the window of her station. Her hands shook. "They didn't even notice us," she said. "We're like ants to them." One of her crew, Patel, said quietly, "Maybe that's a good thing." Lin turned to him. "Or maybe they're just saving us for last." Back on Earth, strange things started happening. Power grids lit up in old, abandoned military zones. Satellites that hadn't moved in years started shifting orbit. A signal pulsed from deep space, sent not by the aliens, but by Earth. Nobody knew who sent it, but someone, or something, was answering the threat. With 48 hours left on the clock, another message appeared, not from the aliens, from Earth. It played on every screen, every speaker, every satellite. A voice, calm, powerful, spoke. "This is Earth. We do not surrender. Prepare for war." The world gasped. Who sent it? No president claimed it. No army admitted it. But for the first time in days, people felt something new. Hope. In a dark control room somewhere in the Rocky Mountains, a group of unknown soldiers stood in silence. Each one had no name, no past. They had been trained for this moment. "Orders?" one asked. The team leader checked his gear and said, "We strike first." The death clock ticked on. 24. The alien fleet moved closer. Earth's skies began to darken, not from clouds, but from shadows. The first ship entered the atmosphere over the Pacific Ocean. It was the size of New York City. Human jets flew up to meet it and vanished without a trace. People screamed. Satellites shut down. GPS failed. The oceans boiled under the alien engines. The invasion had begun, but deep underground, something older than war had awoken, and Earth was no longer silent. The countdown to extinction had started, but humanity wasn't planning to go quietly. The alien ships hovered above Earth like giant black birds blocking the sky. Cities below were silent. People watched in fear, waiting for the end. But in the shadows, something moved. Unknown to most governments, unknown even to the United Nations, a secret plan had been sleeping for years. It was called Protocol Zero. Exactly 22 hours before the death clock reached zero, every phone, TV, and radio on Earth went dark for 10 seconds. Then, without warning, a voice interrupted the silence. It was calm, cold, inhuman. This is Protocol Zero. Earth's surrender is denied. War is now authorized. People across the world froze. Who was speaking? Was it a hacker, a prank? But when the message ended, everything changed. Intense secret. Locations around the world, hidden bunkers opened. Doors that had been sealed for 50 years slid open with loud hissing sounds. Out stepped soldiers. But they were not ordinary soldiers. These men and women had no ID, no names, no fingerprints. They had been raised in silence. Trained since birth for one mission, defend Earth at any cost. They had no fear, no family, no country. They only followed the voice of Protocol Zero. In a hidden lab beneath the Swiss Alps, a young computer scientist named Leah was working when her screen turned black. A message appeared. Authorization granted. Begin Project Mirror. Leah stared at the code. It wasn't written by any human. Is this real? She whispered. The AI system she helped build, but never understood, was alive, and it had just given her new orders. Meanwhile, in low orbit, the alien fleet prepared for the final attack. One ship lowered its weapons. A bright blue light began, charging underneath it. Inside the command deck, an alien officer growled, "Begin Phase 1. Eliminate resistance." But before the light could fire, something strange happened. A small object, fast and silent, appeared behind the ship. It was human-made a drone, small, invisible to alien scanners, and armed with something the aliens had never seen before. It exploded silently, right at the ship's weak point. The entire alien vessel shook and broke apart. For the first time, the alien fleet felt something unexpected: confusion. Back on Earth, President Monroe of the United States slammed his hand on the table during an emergency meeting. "Who authorized this attack?" he shouted. "We didn't send that drone," a general replied. "Sir, we don't know who did." The room went quiet. Someone else was fighting the aliens, someone more powerful than any government. In Tokyo, an old scientist named Dr. Sato received a knock at his door. When he opened it, two silent soldiers stood outside. One handed him a device. "Doctor." Sato looked at it in shock. "Is this Project Genesis?" The soldier nodded. "No one was supposed to use this," the doctor whispered. The soldier replied only once. "Protocol Zero overrides all." As the alien fleet moved closer to Earth's major cities, strange events happened all over the planet. A long-dead Russian satellite suddenly came back online and fired lasers from orbit. Submarines from the Cold War era rose from the deep with new unknown weapons. Power returned to abandoned labs in the Amazon rainforest. Something was waking up, something old, hidden, and very human. The Alien Command Council watched Earth's strange behavior. "This is not the reaction we expected," said one of the leaders. "They were supposed to surrender." Another replied, "Perhaps we misunderstood their species. They seem stubborn." The lead alien stood and spoke clearly. "Then we will show them fear." But Earth had already made its choice. It would not bow, it would not beg, it would fight. And the first real message to the aliens came from an unexpected source. A young girl in Kenya found an old radio in her father's garage. She turned it on, and somehow it connected to an alien broadcast line. She spoke only 2 words: "We're ready." The signal bounced through satellites and reached the alien ships. They heard her voice, and for the first time, they realized something terrifying. Humanity wasn't dying. It was waking up. The alien fleet had surrounded Earth. Cities were in chaos. Fear was everywhere. People hid in basements and shelters, watching the death clock fall below 18 hours. The aliens were preparing to fire. Their weapons were charged. Their ships were locked on Earth's most populated zones. They waited for Earth to send its surrender. But Earth sent something else. High above the clouds, in a secret launch base under the Nevada desert, a platform opened. A sleek black ship rose to the surface. It had no name, no flag, no known pilot. Its design was not normal, half human-made, half something else. It shimmered like metal and glass at once. A voice spoke through loudspeakers. "Vanguard 1, cleared for launch!" Flames burst from the engines. The ship shot into the sky faster than anything humans had ever made before. The aliens saw it, but too late. Inside the alien mothership, alarms rang. "Incoming object," shouted one officer. "Ignore it. Too small to be a threat," said the commander. But the object didn't slow down. It went right through their defense grid, like a ghost. And then, it vanished. "Where did it go?" someone asked. No answer, because Vanguard 1 had jumped. It was Earth's first faster-than-light ship, and it had just disappeared into hyperspace. Inside the ship, Captain Reyes gripped the controls tightly. Sweat ran down his face. This was humanity's last gamble. The Vanguard wasn't just a ship. It carried something special, a prototype weapon called Black Sun. It had never been tested. "Target confirmed," said the AI on board. "Enemy command cruiser detected." Reyes smiled. "Then let's give them a surprise." The alien command ship floated calmly near Mars. Leaders from the fleet watched Earth's news feeds, laughing at the chaos. "They still have not surrendered," one said. "They will," another replied. "In less than 18 hours, Earth ends." Then, the lights on their ship flickered. A blast of static hit their sensors, and Vanguard 1 appeared right behind them. Before they could react, it fired. Black Sun was not a normal weapon. It didn't explode like a bomb. It collapsed the space around the enemy ship, pulling it in, crushing it from the inside. The alien command ship twisted, groaned, and then disappeared into a ball of light. Gone. Just like that, the rest of the alien fleet was stunned. Command destroyed. Their strongest ship erased. But that wasn't the worst part. A message appeared on every alien screen. "We didn't start this war, but we will finish it. Earth." For the first time, the aliens felt something strange. Not anger, not confusion. Fear. Back on Earth, news spread fast. Someone had destroyed the alien command ship. People came out of hiding. Children pointed to the sky with hope. Soldiers around the world lifted their weapons, not in fear, but with fire in their hearts. Something had changed. In an old radio tower in Canada, a retired military officer named Sarah picked up a transmission from Vanguard 1. "This is Reyes. Black. Sun successful. Returning to Earth." She smiled for the first time in years. The voice of resistance had returned. Meanwhile, inside a deep vault under the Vatican, an old monk opened a sealed box. Inside was a simple note, written in Latin. "If Earth is ever invaded, light the fire." He nodded. A hidden signal was sent. Across the world, dozens of secret teams got the same message. Phase 2. Humanity strikes back. In the alien fleet, panic spread. Without command, some ships backed away. Others tried to reorganize. But Earth had already moved to the next step. Drones launched from Antarctica. Missiles from underwater silos. AI-controlled jets rose from secret hangars. Earth wasn't waiting anymore. A young alien pilot, assigned to scout duty, watched as human forces rose from every direction. "Why are they fighting?" he asked. "They're supposed to be weak." His captain replied, voice trembling. Because we gave them no choice. Back in orbit, Reyes returned to Earth's upper atmosphere. He looked down at the blue planet below. His voice was steady. Mission 1, complete. But this isn't over. He looked up at the stars. They came to destroy Earth. Now we're coming for them. The world was watching the sky. Earth had finally struck back. The alien command ship was gone. Vanguard 1 had returned safely. People cheered. But deep in the mountains of Eastern Europe, far away from the cities and the cameras, a man sat alone in a dark bunker. His name was Unit 9. But once, he had a name, Sergeant David Rains. Now, he was a ghost, forgotten by the world he had once fought to protect. Years ago, during the first secret alien contact, the Earth Defense Council had created a hidden program, Project Revenant. It took elite soldiers, erased their pasts, and rebuilt them for one purpose: to fight enemies no one knew about. David had been the best. Fast, smart, fearless. But after a failed mission in deep space, he was declared dead. In truth, he was locked away, his body kept alive, his mind frozen in a cold sleep. Until now. A soft beep echoed through the bunker. The lights flickered, a red screen turned on beside his chamber. Protocol 0 activated. Soldier, wake up! His eyes opened. Breath returned to his lungs, muscles tensed like steel cables. He stood slowly, confused at first, then focused. Status? He asked, voice rough from silence. The AI replied, Earth is under invasion. You have been reactivated. David didn't ask questions. He put on his armor, grabbed his weapon, and walked out. Above him, the skies burned. Alien ships were attacking. Small cities. Civilian resistance had begun, but they were outmatched. One town in Slovakia had already gone dark. That's where David went first. He arrived on foot. No vehicles, no backup, just him. The town looked empty. Smoke rose from broken buildings. Alien drones floated through the air, scanning for life. David crept through the shadows. He spotted a small group of survivors, trapped in a collapsed school. A child cried. A woman held her hand over his mouth to keep him quiet. The drones moved closer. David stepped into the street. He didn't run. He didn't hide. He faced the machines head-on. 3 alien drones locked on him. They scanned his body and detected only one word: danger. They fired. David moved like lightning. One shot. A drone dropped. Second shot. Another fell, sparking. The third tried to flee. David pulled out a blade and threw it with perfect aim. Direct hit. Silence returned to the street. Then, the survivors slowly came out of hiding. They looked at him with wide eyes. Who are you? One boy asked. David didn't smile. I'm the one they forgot. Back at Earth's military HQ, Commander Lin received a strange report. Ma'am, said her officer, we're getting signals from Eastern Europe. Alien units down, survivors rescued, but no friendly forces reported in the area. Then, who's doing it? She asked. The screen showed blurry footage from a street camera. A single man. One soldier, walking through fire like a machine. Lynn narrowed her eyes. That can't be. He's dead. Word of the mysterious fighter spread fast. Locals called him the Ghost of Earth. Aliens began placing bounties on him, but no one could catch him. Everywhere he went, aliens fell, humans lived. One night, David found a small alien relay base hidden in a forest. He watched it for hours, silent, still. Then he attacked. It took only 12 minutes. When it was done, the entire base was destroyed. Before leaving, he sent one message through their systems. You came to end us, but we're not done yet. The message played across multiple alien command ships. An alien officer growled, "What kind of species fights alone?" His captain replied, the kind that refuses to die. Meanwhile, Earth's leaders tried to contact the unknown soldier. They failed. He had no ID, no signal, no trace. But every night, more alien forces went dark. And in the morning, another small town survived. Some called him a myth. Others called him a weapon. But one thing was clear. He had become Earth's silent blade. In a cave near the Ukrainian border, David sat by a fire. He opened a small metal box from his armor. Inside, there was a single photo. A young woman and a baby. His wife. His daughter. Long gone. He touched the photo gently, then closed the box. "I won't let them take this world too," he whispered. The aliens thought Earth would break. Instead, they woke something ancient, something human, something unstoppable. The world was watching the sky. Earth had finally struck back. The alien command ship was gone. Vanguard 1 had returned safely. People cheered, but deep in the mountains of Eastern Europe, far away from the cities and the cameras, a man sat alone in a dark bunker. His name was Unit 9. But once, he had a name, Sergeant David Rains. Now he was a ghost, forgotten by the world he had once fought to protect. Years ago, during the first secret alien contact, the Earth Defense Council had created a hidden program, Project Revenant. It took elite soldiers, erased their pasts, and rebuilt them for one purpose: to fight enemies no one knew about. David had been the best, fast, smart, fearless. But after a failed mission in deep space, he was declared dead. In truth, he was locked away, his body kept alive, his mind frozen in a cold sleep, until now. A soft beep echoed through the bunker. The lights flickered. A red screen turned on beside his chamber. Protocol 0 activated. "Soldier, wake up." His eyes opened. Breath returned to his lungs. Muscles tensed like steel cables. He stood slowly, confused at first, then focused. "Status?" he asked, voice rough from silence. The AI replied, "Earth is under invasion. You have been reactivated." David didn't ask questions. He put on his armor, grabbed his weapon, and walked out. Above him, the skies burned. Alien ships were attacking. Small cities. Civilian resistance had begun, but they were outmatched. One town in Slovakia had already gone dark. That's where David went first. He arrived on foot. No vehicles, no backup, just him. The town looked empty. Smoke rose from broken buildings. Alien drones floated through the air, scanning for life. David crept through the shadows. He spotted a small group of survivors, trapped in a collapsed school. A child cried. A woman held her hand over his mouth to keep him quiet. The drones moved. Closer. David stepped into the street. He didn't run. He didn't hide. He faced the machines head on. 3 alien drones locked on him. They scanned his body and detected only one word: danger. They fired. David moved like lightning. One shot. A drone dropped. Second shot. Another fell, sparking. The third tried to flee. David pulled out a blade and threw it with perfect aim. Direct. Hit. Silence returned to the street. Then, the survivors slowly came out of hiding. They looked at him with wide eyes. "Who are you?" one boy asked. David didn't smile. "I'm the one they forgot." Back at Earth's military HQ, Commander Lin received a strange report. "Ma'am," said her officer, "we're getting signals from Eastern Europe. Alien units down, survivors rescued, but no friendly forces reported in the area." "Then, who's doing it?" she asked. The screen showed blurry footage from a street camera, a single man, one soldier, walking through fire like a machine. Lynn narrowed her eyes. "That can't be. He's dead." Word of the mysterious fighter spread fast. Locals called him the Ghost of Earth. Aliens began placing bounties on him. But no one could catch him. Everywhere he went, aliens fell, humans lived. One night, David found a small alien relay base hidden in a forest. He watched it for hours. Silent. Still. Then he attacked. It took only 12 minutes. When it was done, the entire base was destroyed. Before leaving, he sent one message through their systems. You came to end us. But we're not done. Yet. The message played across multiple alien command ships. An alien officer growled, "What kind of species fights alone?" His captain replied, "The kind that refuses to die." Meanwhile, Earth's leaders tried to contact the unknown soldier. They failed. He had no ID, no signal, no trace. But every night, more alien forces went dark. And in the morning, another small town survived. Some called him a myth, others called him a weapon. But one thing was clear. He had become Earth's silent blade. In a cave near the Ukrainian border, David sat by a fire. He opened a small metal box from his armor. Inside, there was a single photo, a young woman and a baby, his wife. His daughter, long gone. He touched the photo gently, then closed the box. "I won't let them take this world too," he whispered. The aliens thought Earth would break. Instead, they woke something ancient, something human, something unstoppable. The sky was quiet. No alien ships, no beams, no attacks, just silence. But Earth wasn't resting. They were preparing. Sky Fortress Vexar had fallen. The strongest weapon the aliens had brought was gone. Now, Earth was going to fight back. Not just defend. Attack. In deep space, the alien empire held thousands of planets. They ruled through fear, fire, and numbers. But now, fear was spreading. Among them, a single planet, Earth, had destroyed their command ship. And then Vexar. Their leaders gathered in panic. They are primitives. They were supposed to be broken. But another alien, older and wiser, said one thing that silenced the room. Primitives don't build weapons like Black Sun. Back on Earth, Commander Lin looked over a new plan. It was bold, dangerous, and exactly what humanity needed. She spoke to the world from a global broadcast station. They thought Earth would fall, but we are still here. We will not just survive. We will rise. And now, we strike back. Operation Firestorm began. All over Earth, hidden launch pads opened. Dozens of new ships, using stolen alien tech, blasted into orbit. Their targets: alien, supply ships, bases on Mars, and even a listening post near Jupiter. The human fleet wasn't big, but it was fast and angry. On Mars, an alien outpost detected incoming ships. "Unidentified craft approaching," said the guard. "From where?" "Earth." The alien officer laughed. "Earth has no ships." Seconds later, 3 Earth fighters broke through the sky and bombed the base to dust. The officer never got to laugh again. Reyes, the pilot of Vanguard 1, now led a squadron called Ghost Wing. Each pilot had survived the impossible. Each one had lost someone. They didn't fight for medals, they fought for home. One of them, a young woman named Lieutenant Kira Song, flew low over Saturn's rings, dodging alien patrols. She was carrying a stolen alien AI core, something Earth scientists needed badly. Enemy ships chased her, locked missiles. But she spun her fighter through, the rings like a dancer in a storm. Missiles missed. She fired back. 1, 2, 3, destroyed them all. The mission was a success. On the ground, the forgotten soldier, David Rains, was not done either. Now called the Ghost of Earth by both humans and aliens, he was hunting down the last alien infiltrators hiding on Earth. In the ruins of old Paris, he found an alien command node. The alien general inside tried to surrender. David stared coldly. "You shouldn't have come here." He left the base in flames. The alien empire was starting to collapse, not just from battles, but from fear. Planets under alien control saw Earth's fight and started asking questions. If humans can resist, why can't we? Riots broke out on colonies. Rebel groups rose up. Even some alien commanders began doubting the war. One alien officer, named Varric, stood in his command center, watching Earth's broadcast. He had once destroyed 5 planets. But something about humans unsettled him. They were smaller, fewer, but they kept getting back up, and now they were coming for him. He whispered to himself, "They don't fight like the others. They fight like they've already lost everything. That's why we can't break them." Meanwhile, Earth scientists completed something incredible. They had cracked part of the alien jump drive technology. Now, Earth ships could move between stars. They were no longer stuck in the solar system. The universe was open, and humans were heading out. The president of Earth's United Council stood before a giant crowd. He held up a star map with dozens of red marks, alien bases, war stations, and control points. Then, he tapped a single green dot. Earth. They brought war to our home. Now we bring fire to theirs. Today we are no longer the hunted. Today, humanity becomes the storm. And across deep space, for the first time in 1,000 years, the alien empire sent a message to its citizens. 4 words. Cold. Terrifying. True. Earth cannot be stopped. The stars were no longer quiet. Human ships now flew where they were never meant to go, through alien territory, past enemy patrols, into the very heart of the Empire, and their destination was clear. Zorath Prime. The alien homeworld. It was the capital of the Empire. A planet with towers that touched the clouds, rings of defense ships, millions of soldiers. For centuries, it had never been touched by war. That was about to change. Commander Lin stood on the bridge of Earth's newest flagship, the Horizon Blade. It was built from alien tech and human fury. Beside her stood Captain Reyes, leader of Ghostwing. On the screen in front of them, Zorath Prime glowed like a red jewel. "This is it," Lin said. "We end it here." Far behind enemy lines, the forgotten soldier, David Rains, was already on the planet. He had arrived 3 days earlier, dropped by a stealth pod. He had no army, no backup, just one mission: cut the Empire's command center from the inside. He moved through the shadows of Zorath Prime's megacities, dodging alien patrols, planting charges, and mapping the weak points. The Empire had taken everything from him. Now, he was going to take everything from them. Above the planet, Earth's fleet arrived, fighters, bombers, stealth ships, drop pods, thousands of humans, pilots, soldiers, engineers, ready to risk everything. Aliens scrambled their defenses, massive space cannons fired, missiles flew, but Earth didn't stop. They charged in head-on, fast and furious. Reyes led the first wave. Kirasong flew close behind him. Their fighters danced through laser fire, dropping bombs on capital ships. Alien ships exploded like firecrackers in the sky. Inside Zorath Prime, the people panicked. They had never seen war this close. Sirens screamed. Shields flickered. The planet shook from the attacks above. The emperor of the alien race stood in his tower, watching with cold fury. "Humans," he growled. "They are not a species. They are a virus." David Rains reached the outer gate of the Imperial Command Center. Guards blocked the path. He moved like a ghost, silent and deadly. In minutes, the guards were down. He entered the tower alone. Explosions shook the building as Earth's fleet began orbital bombardment. David climbed floor after floor, bullets flying, blades flashing. He reached the top, face to face with the Emperor. The alien leader stood tall, armored in black and gold. "You are just one man," he hissed. David raised his weapon. "That's all it takes." They fought, claws against steel, strength against skill. The Emperor was strong, but David was human, and humanity had been fighting for survival since the beginning of time. David slammed the Emperor into the wall, planted an explosive, and said just 3 words. "This ends now." He jumped from the tower as it exploded behind him. A dropship caught him mid-air. Reyes, flying it, grinned. "You always this dramatic?" David just nodded. Let's finish it. Back in orbit, Earth's forces pushed harder. The alien fleet broke. Ships ran. Commanders screamed in panic. Zorath Prime was burning. But Lynn wasn't smiling yet. A massive alien dreadnought rose from the planet's surface, twice the size of Vexar. Its name was Oblivion Fang. It charged its main cannon, aimed directly at Earth's flagship. "Brace for impact," someone shouted. The cannon fired, but just before the blast hit, Kira Song flew her ship straight into the cannon port. Her ship exploded inside the barrel. The dreadnought's cannon misfired and tore itself apart. A giant fireball swallowed it. Whole. She was gone, but she had saved them all. Silence returned. The alien fleet was gone. Their cities were in flames. The Emperor was dead. And in the sky above Zorath Prime, Earth's flagship stood victorious. Commander Lin gave the final message to Earth and the stars. "We are not conquerors. We are not monsters. But if you come to our world with fire, we will return it with thunder. Earth stands free. And now, so will every world you tried to control." On Earth, people celebrated. On alien worlds, chains were broken, and across the galaxy, a message spread. The Empire is no more. Humanity is here, and they are not afraid. In a quiet forest on Earth, David Rains stood under the trees, watching the sunrise. No guns, no armor, just peace. For the first time in years, Reyes joined him. "Think it's over?" he asked. David shrugged. "Maybe. For now." They stood in silence. Then David said with a half smile, "If the stars want war again, they'll remember who we are.